Da-da-da. We're on the move. Ting ting. Ting ting. I'm on the move. My desk is a mess. Oh, my desk is a mess. Nick, my boy. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Feel like I got hit by a truck. Coffee's good right now. Southern, thank you very much. Coffee not bad. It's a lifeline. Look at SCC. Oh, bouncing back. What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you, right? We looked at this yesterday. And they were talking about, right? Oh, U.S.-China trade concern. What'd I say? So it's all noise. Makes me laugh. Too funny. HII doing well. Yeah, well, yeah, in my opinion, again, you guys know I don't try to speak matter-of-factly to you because I'm not trying to mislead anyone. These are just my opinions. But, look at this. HII, new 52-week highs today, 293.14. I think we did a video, what, it was like 215, 216 or something? That was only a couple of months ago, too. Yeah, it was right here. Mid-April. So what's that? 3.5 months. 3.5 months for, oh man, 33%? Even more, obviously, if it bounces back up to where it was. Phew. I'll tell you, man, I am just too damn good, honestly. I'm telling you, people don't see it. I'm telling you. Oh, I love it. Whew. Nice EPS. Revenue over 3 bill. Stock is on the up and up. And let's review some numbers real quick. Expectation for the analysts, 328. They post 386. 150 mil, very nice. That's not bad income, huh? From a quarter, 150 mil. No negative revisions. Suzanne is on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Operating margin down a point. Free cash flow, look at that. It swung from minus 100 million to sitting here at 730 million now. Backlog, 56.9 billion at quarter end, up 17.2%. Okay? Do you see the method to my madness? Second quarter results in line with expectations. Very nice. Look at that. Look at that. slow and steady wins the race, right? We find a stock like this, wait for it to get beaten down, battered up. And again, it was technically on the rise, right? If you recall, I came to this late, and I kind of knew that Trump was, like he's bullish on the military. He wants us to have strong military. And again, that's why as soon as there was that little interview, whatever it was, I don't remember, but, he mentioned, oh, I want to rebuild the Navy. We gotta get our ships back in line. HII popped immediately on that announcement. So we were late at 215, 216, right? Stock's almost 300 now. Telling you. One day at a time, baby. One day at a time. Year-on-year revenue growth. Look at that. Back up positive. Look at the backlog, okay? This is a chart showing their backlog. Look at this. Look at this. Stock's up here, 280. The freaking thing's still a buy, probably. Yeah, but this trend is going to reverse once they start chiseling away at that huge backlog increase. Yeah, it's holding. See what I mean when I talk about stability, too? I know I'm late with this stock, but you understand what I'm saying, yeah. Oh, baby. 280. Oh, baby. Right? And we hear it, I was saying, oh, you could get up to this trend line here in the 250s, and then you'll see, 270. Then you could see 290. I like this one. Almost straight up. Look at that. Rose right after we spoke about it, consolidated for about, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then boom, straight up, and now earnings. Oh. Call options would be printing. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like I said, the stock's up 30%, so really doesn't matter what you bought. If you got involved, you're probably seeing some nice returns right now. Got MBOT slightly green. SMCI, of course, holding. What did I just say? SMCI. Yep. We're on the up and up. Yeah, I don't even know if I was expecting a retest of the support, but looks like we're just on the up and up. We had the fib there. Used to be what, like 61 1/3. So we're up here. We're above that technically, and this is the day, right? Yeah, this is the day candle. So you can see how we popped up and then we pulled. Yeah, I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see how we popped up and pulled back a little bit, right? So even if we don't move that much, if we can get back to the top of the range and close up there, potentially form that bull hammer, and that might help pop us up to 64.5. SMCI, in my opinion, back in action. Shout out to JJ in the chat. He always keeps us updated, posts news articles with SMCI, and it seems like it's back in play. There was one article the gentleman posted talking about if earnings come in nice, they're expecting we could potentially see a breakup. I think the price was like 106 or something. So be prepared for some potential big swings on SMCI going into earnings. How can I see the chat while I watch on TV? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there you go, Southern. Help her out. AEO, what's that? American Eagle, right? Yeah, it's funny, you know, I'm not exactly sure how to play AEO because I mean, listen, we know oh my goodness, what's her name? Well, whatever, right? That girl, we know she's popular. So, like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, they're going down that road, you know, that might help sales. But then of course, you had people flipping out that they chose her for the ad. So, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out. Sydney Sweeney, yes, thank you, thank you. She is very well proportioned. Well, I'll leave it at that. And yeah, I don't know, AEO, again, these apparel companies, I don't, it just seems like a very rough sector right now. Because to my knowledge, I don't really think any of them make products domestically. Just picked up some MBOT. Hey, very nice, very nice. MBOT, let's check down here at a trend line. Let's see how it's looking here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can see yesterday, right? We spoke about the pullback right to the trend line, the slight break of the moving average, and that's why, right? We had to see, were we going to break now and come down here to 246, or were we going to have a bounce and pop back up? And you can see, look, we have our wick coming right down basically to that trend line, and then we're starting to bounce a little bit. So it really does seem that MBOT wants to stay on the up and up. So we'll probably continue to hold this line and try to step and maybe hold that 3 level. Um, but we know, of course, with these up and coming companies, you know, once they pop a little bit, they start trending. Once they see the value increase of their shares, you know, that's usually when most of them will do an offering. So we could potentially have an offering soon, but again, you guys know how I feel about this one, so if we go from 270 to 170, I like it. They're trying to keep Fubo down. Nah. Nah. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, nah, nah. Look at that. Pulled back right to the top of the body. All right, I said 4.25, no problem. We're up here, hit 440 today. We're on the up and up. We're on the up and up. If markets sell off in reverse, we could see a pullback here, maybe 396. But again, those prelim numbers, I don't think they can keep them down. I think we do see 5 plus soon. Yield slightly down. All 3 indices up. Campbell, you want to talk about keeping them down? Campbell's been in the low 30s for like months. Hershey down to 187, so those puts yesterday at 190, if anyone jumped in, obviously would have worked out. I see CO storming back. DraftKings holding. Palantir, of course, up. Why not? AMD 181. Oh, and they were crying. They were crying about AMD, I remember. Probably going to transition out of HGRAF and start pulling money into MBOT. You are a madman. Oh, I'm still on Steam. Waiting for correction to buy more, taking advice on holding for longer. We're for sure on the up and up. I feel like prelim numbers, Simmons. Bro, it's gonna be fine. Again, Fubo should be on the up and up. Fubo should be on the up and up. Oh, Fubo. Yeah, I got the Fidelity account on the other screen to try to give me real-time quotes on HGRAF. Because, again, these are technically delayed by a few minutes. Yeah, you can see, right? 9:54, and you can see 10:09. So we got a 15-minute delay here on TradingView. So I got the other account up top. It's showing 120 right now, but you can see right out of the gate with the volume right at the open, HGRAF continuing up, $1.29 new highs. Originally brought to you on this channel at 11.5 cents. I repeat, 11.5 cents. 300 million market cap. That's nothing. That's not, again, we got ASTS. Hasn't done a freaking thing. Got a $20 billion market cap. This is not expensive. I don't care. OTC, OTB, XYZ. It doesn't matter. 300 million is not a lot of money. Especially for a company that's supposedly developing a product that can, you know, change the world in every damn sector they I'm flying right now. Good times right now. Good times. Everybody wants live streams. We got 9 people in here. What the heck? Though people love live. People tell me, oh, you got to do shorts. That's why the channel's not growing. So I do shorts. Nobody cares. They tell me, oh, you got to go live. Everyone goes live. All right, fine. I'll go live. Nobody cares. Natalie, good morning, good morning, good morning. I mean, technically, the Dow right now just broke that trend line. If you did want to try a quick options trade, you could buy some puts on DIA. Again, that's the ETF that tracks the Dow. Looks like markets might be slipping across the board here. Yeah, so see if we continue to step down. Could also try maybe QQQ puts if you're looking for a trade. A little options trade. Yeah, silver, I think, continues to slip maybe about another point. And right now it's showing about 36.5 an ounce. If you can, in my opinion, I do still like silver over the long term. If you can get that sub 36 an ounce, I think you'd be good to go. Just an idea. Ascend. It's all about the AI. That's it. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Oh, man. God. I tell you, this rain kills me. Just sucks the energy right out of me. Thoughts on wing? Come on. Oh, I just cracked my arm. What's that, wing stop? Yeah, see, this has been doing well, but the problem is, you know, anytime if they cite, like, oh, rise in chicken costs, like, that's going to decimate the stock. 160, 170, 170. Oh, they just reported earnings. This is way too overvalued just looking at revenue. We're up to what? Like 600 mil roughly for the year. We have a $10.5 billion market cap. I mean, earnings have been good. Nice beats, 3 in a row. It's a little choppy, but it is on the up and up. $625 for last year, and we're up to 340 mil. So we're on track to see about a 10% increase in revenue year over year. I don't know, man. Like I said, no disrespect to you all, but it just makes me laugh how I consistently pick winners, and then people are like, oh, what about this one? Like, I respect it, but also at the same time, like, you should have most of the information you need. That is a big cash flow, just went negative. So we're minus about $1 billion with debt. Oof. See, something like this is dangerous because, like, now they're okay, but in a year or two, they can have an issue. You know what I'm saying? So, oh man, that's very in proportion right there. Look at our equity continuing to head in the opposite direction. Look at SCCO up 4%. You guys bought that dip, right? I hope someone did. In here talking to myself. Yeah, so, yeah, I wouldn't be a buyer of this. That's just me. That's just me. Not a good one. Look, seeing you guys are now delayed by like a minute. What the heck? Why does that keep happening? And I had people crying about this one. Because they thought they caught me, right? They thought they caught me. We had the traders, when I first spoke about it, trying to time calls, thinking they're some kind of financial genius. They got burned, right? The people who knew that I know what I know and held on, they're up 50%. Thanks, really appreciate it. You're welcome, Natalie. Just you don't have to look at stocks like that. The restaurant business is rough. The restaurant business is very rough, and the problem is, you see something like McDonald's, which somehow, I've done videos on McDonald's in the past, and the numbers do not justify their valuation. And that's a hill I'll die on. We're seeing a lot of rise in food costs, and again, I know RFK's out there like, oh, let's get rid of this preservative, let's do this and that. So I just don't know if they're. I just don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze on something like a Wingstop or a Portillo's or whatever other stocks are out there. Even though Cake just reported pretty decent numbers. Thoughts on CTM? I don't own it, thankfully. Alright, yeah, listen, I know, you think it outside the box, you're trying to find something, but, yeah, Wingstop, me personally, I wouldn't be a buyer. Oh, well, this is tightening. Castellan, 109 million. Where do you people find this stuff? Got one person with a $3 price target. Tech firm, it operates in the development of acquisitions in cybersecurity. See, this is what I mean again. Why not buy Sentinel-1? I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Coming off a reverse split, of course, 1 for 20. These are the ones that people look for. I mean, listen, it got destroyed. You know, it looks like it's tightening. You want to catch a pop up to 4 or 5? More power to you. You know, does it deserve to pop to 4? No. Can it? Yes. Would I buy it? No. Why would I buy it? Why would I buy something like this? Debt's slightly coming down. Cash flow went negative. Holding some cash. Assets outweighing liabilities. Equity now the highest it's been. We did $1 million less than that time, with almost the same cost. Gross profit's lower than it's been. Shares just jumped from 50 to 80 million. You know what I have to say about a stock like this, but again, you like it, more power to you. I wish you nothing but the best. Again, just because I don't like something doesn't mean it doesn't work out, right? But I just want you to understand the risks involved. But, you know, if it's tightening like we saw, it went through the reverse stock split, if they're like kind of slowly bringing it up, back up in value, you know, then yeah, maybe, you know, you can catch it from 1.25 to 2, 2.5, 3. Your call. Ugh. Wow, what is everybody still sleeping? Where is everybody? Oh, okay. Oil with a little reversal. Mm-hmm. Right on schedule. DXY goes up to 110. Uh, just too damn good. Hmm. Da-dee-da-dee-da. My boy Tiger Striped in the Discord talking about algos. Bro, the algos have nothing to do with it, bro. Your boy knew. I knew. Again, I couldn't say that, but I knew. Yep, Oscar slowly on the up and up, staying above that, oh my goodness. Staying above that support trend line, right? We spoke about. Still above it. Hood, I know what they just reported. Yep. Stock up slightly. This stock is ridiculously overvalued. What else would we look? Oh yeah, Meta had a really good report. And I said, in my opinion, I posted in the Discord, I said Meta should hit 800 plus. We can see the stock hitting new all-time highs today, almost 785 a share. IPO price 42. What a return. What a return. Remember, don't know what to buy? Buy the VIX. Markets start pulling back, volatility spikes up. You're making money while everyone else is losing money. Just an idea. If you are just joining us, welcome. And the news today is basically that I'm too damn good. That's our news headline for today. Oh yeah, SMCI 62. 62. Right, and you remember after they beat it down and it started to have a little bit of a rebound at like 33, 37, right? People are like, what's going on? Why are they keeping it down? Now it's 62. And that's what I mean, right? If you know what you know, you have confidence, you did your research, you have high conviction. If you know what you know, then you have to remain stoic, and you don't want the stock to pop immediately, right? I said that time and time again. This is what people don't understand. People want to buy a stock today and have it explode tomorrow. That's really not what you should be looking for, because you see the type of percentage growth that someone like me can show you. So if you find the right situation, what you should be doing is accumulating shares, building a position, and then waiting for that growth. You don't just make a buy and then sit there the next day like, oh, I'm not a millionaire yet, this thing sucks, blah, blah, blah. Well, like I said, people keep posting huge wins on social media, and now all of a sudden, the entire investment environment, everyone's impatient now, right? Yeah, the viewers are trickling in now. Yeah, this rain seriously knocks me on my ass, I'll tell you that much. HGRAF, Fidelity showing me HGRAF at 96 cents. Obviously, again, this is delayed 15 minutes, which doesn't help anybody. HGRAF. What a call. Ah, yes, excellent. Yes, thank you. It's okay, I'm not live or anything. Fantastic. Yeah. Yep. This is nice. You are dealing with a true professional here. I cannot wait to, get my mansion on an island somewhere, because I'm an island boy, and just not gonna have to put up with any of this crap. Look, it's still going. It's still, that always made me laugh, right? If you think about it, because you'll hear that someone's alarm's going off, right? It'll go for a minute, 2 minutes, and I laugh because what's the point of the alarm if no one ever shows up? Right? So I could steal that person's car right now. They wouldn't even know. Right? The alarm's going off. They're not looking out. They're not hitting that button. The hell's the point of the alarm? Still going. Wow. Wow. And I sat here for almost an hour not doing anything. I opened the window to have a smoke, and look what happens. Right? Look. People ask me in the past, oh, why don't you go live? Well, it's because even when I'm making a video on AMD or whatever, as soon as I start recording, crap like that happens. So then I usually stop the video, wait for the noise to pass, and then I re-record it for you guys. But everybody wanted live. This is live action for you, baby. That's what happens. Sometimes you got a horn in your ear. And sometimes you got to block out the noise and stay focused. I can't believe this is still going, this horn right now. Honest in the 460s. Oh! I think his battery died. So yeah, we have some tightening taking place. Could potentially be forming in descending triangle, actually. I don't know. Again, they beat this company up with the whole tariff thing, but their numbers have been continuing to come in above expectations. So, again, I say, it's a little risky, but I don't know. Like, right now, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt until I saw numbers really start to slip. Honest gets no respect. Yeah, well, again, they were talking about tariffs, so people were like, oh, is this exposed? Should I get out of Honest? I know what, Jessica, whoever it was, who's it? Alba? Jessica Biel? I don't know. One of the Jessicas, owned a piece of the company, right? She, stepped down or something. So, right now it's in a little bit of a lull period, right? We caught it, again, in the past. Yeah, we caught it as we were coming down, as we were in this step up, right? And we saw this big break up to about 9. Down 50% from there, really cooled out. But you can see, look, it ran up to about this level, and that's when it paused. Ran up, paused, right? Ran up, paused, and then popped. And look, came right back down to the level. So we're at a key level here. We do have some tightening. They could drop it, but again, in my opinion, we have earnings coming up soon. So we're tightening and, in my opinion, preparing to rally into earnings. And, yeah, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt. And hopefully they beat. Alba, just got Alba. Yes, thank you, Natalie. Thank you. I knew it was one of them. Ba-ba. Discord talking about SoFi. How we look? SoFi. Again, down here at 6, new 52-week lows. They said I was crazy. I said I'd load the boat. That was literally the low of the low. You're up 300% if you held. Yep, we have some tightening and a potential pop up. SCCO, 4% rebound. Whew. Can't keep a good man down. Right? Oh, what about the China trade wars? And boom, the next day it's right back up to where it was. HII up bigly, as it should be. I mean, the freaking backlog was massive. Oh yeah, we got some nice tightening taking place. This should pop up, not down, if markets stay up. HGRAF showing me back up to 109. Volume 5 million shares Fidelity is showing me. Wow. The word is out. Again, this is delayed. But yeah, we're up to 5 million shares. Look at the volume used to be like 1.2, 1.4 million shares. Look, now we're up to over 2 million shares now, average volume. And again, real-time quote showing me 5,097,000 shares traded hands today. Stock almost back at 110. HGRAF. So we're 2.5 times this increased average volume already, and it's been an hour. And this is why I said, if this thing really spikes up, gets above resistance, and starts moving, you could see, that's why I said, you could see 50, 60 cents. We could pop to $1 plus just on this breakout. And that's what I mean. If volume keeps coming in, I mean, you could realistically see like $2, $3, believe it or not, as we head into what hopefully is a positive announcement. Oh, man. How's this stock look? Yep. It's Tuesday the 5th. I mean, could be interesting. Rivian. Again, it's hard though. It's hard to call with the autos, right? We know this. And again, it doesn't even matter, right? We're talking like Ford, regular autos, combustible engine, freaking EV stock. It doesn't matter. They're very hard to call, and I feel like Tesla sets like a bad precedent for the sector, right? Because again, we've seen Tesla, and I'm not beating up you shareholders, but we have seen Tesla, with like mixed and negative reports, and the stock goes up and the stock stays up. So that's what I mean. Something like Rivian, it's like you might get like a wishy-washy report, but then the stock might pop to like 16. So I don't really know if it's worth the risk, but could be in play. We'll see. What's BlackBerry doing today? BlackBerry down to the 370s, right? I said we were at the 390s. I said, yeah, we're probably going to keep slipping a little bit. And again, this is I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. This is basically the original smartphone maker, which apparently ended up losing, big market share to Samsung, Apple. But yeah, it's one of those gut feeling situations. So, like, I don't know how to relay it to you, but I don't know what it is. Something's telling me it's in play. Oil staying down, silver staying down. SECO 4.25% now. Hershey back up randomly. Yields down about 0.5%. Dollar's red now. Shut up. Oh, dollar is dropping. Fought and got right back up to 110, and now we're just rejecting, dropping big. Yep, dollar rises to 2-month high. There it is. Much more natural gas and storage than expected. Yeah. Yep. SMCI still above 61. About 265. Oh. Goodness. Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry if the stream isn't too exciting today. I kind of woke up and jumped right on. And those of you who know me know that when it's very cloudy and it's raining, I don't know, I get like that heavy head, something with the barometric pressure or something. So, feeling very blah today, but again, I have no problem sitting here hanging out with you guys. But yeah, see, it's showing the stream is like 2 minutes behind live. And is that because like it's showing you guys ads, or is it like stopping on your end? Because the stream starts and you guys are like 3, 5 seconds behind me. And now it's showing 2 minutes behind. So I don't know. I don't know. That's why I love this community, man. I just had someone message me saying I was late, but I just bought some HGRAF, so I'm sorry. It's going to start selling off now. I love you guys. HGRAF halted briefly. What? Showing 10:45 your time now. Yeah. So, okay, so you're not delayed. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the top left, it shows like the preview, and it's saying it's like 2 minutes behind. All right, whatever. If it's behind but you're on time, then whatever. Thank you, Suzanne. Someone said it was halted on the CSE. Yeah, I'm actually really silly because we could just watch this because this is not delayed. Um, Thank you for the update, Evan. I don't. When was it halted? Did we get no news or anything? Interesting. People in the Discord talking about Figma. Again, Figma is like a tech, kind of like a tech, online tech, like workspace, interactive workspace kind of with each other, if you're not familiar with Figma. And yeah, apparently Adobe approached them a while back for billions, and they turned them down. Again, Figma, Figma, and that company's setting up for their IPO. And in my opinion, probably could be good, right? Because obviously it's a good product. People like, they built up their users, active users, I guess. If you had Adobe approach them to buy them out, then we know there's value there, right? And we know it's a good business. So Figma could be good. The problem is these companies, they take like the highest price they can when they IPO. And that's why we've seen, even if it's a great company that everyone's, really anticipating them getting listed, you'll notice they usually end up going down for like the first 1, 2, 3 months. Then they bottom out, then they slowly get back up to where they were. So something like Figma IPO, I mean, could be good. Could be good. But, it might be worth just like hanging out and watching it for a little bit because you might be able to get it for a cheaper price. We are dumping. Well, we just ran 1100% or whatever, so this is not dumping. But we are technically dropping. E-Wave Quantum up 7%. Again, I do like the Quantum story, but again, we've had CEOs come out and say, like, hey, listen, we're, a little ways away here. Qubit saw a nice bump in revenue, 15 mil. Estimates were only 10.5 million. But now we have a $6 billion market cap. So, we can only go so high so quick, in my opinion. Da-dee-da-dee-da. Can you get a Discord link, please? Only because you said please. You are a gentleman and a scholar. Okay, HGRAF, it's showing me about 97.5 cents. We'll watch HG. Oh, my back. HG again. This is the main listing, if you will, on the CSE, the Canadian Stock Exchange. Of course, again, here in the States, I look at the OTC one because that's, I guess, the easier one for us to buy here domestically. But essentially, same company, and these quotes are not delayed, so we can check and watch this one. You can see also, though, even on this one listed on the CSE, I mean, we're approaching 2x average volume. So that's why I say again, you're going to have these swings because it did really just pump. So remember, not everyone's looking at it the way you and I might be looking at it, right? So someone who just even recently bought the breakup, 28 cents or 42 cents, you wake up, you're up 150%, 200%. So some people might be looking to lock in those profits. And then maybe if it pulls back a little bit, then they could maybe re-enter and wait for the announcement of a contract or something. But, again, a lot of people might just be securing profits for the volume I'm seeing, for the amount the stock went up recently. A pullback here, again, we were down more, but, 3%, 6% drop. If you really think about it, that's not a lot. That's not a lot based on the moves we've been seeing. So I know we want to see just more and more green every day, but it happens. We know that. It happens. Sometimes they have to go down to go back up, right? You're welcome, Botero. You're welcome. Just make sure you speak in the Discord, otherwise I assume you're a bot and I kick you. Stock slowly slipping. We got the Dow now up only about 25 points. SB holding. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, we're doing a little Little downward little curl happening. Volare. Oh. E cantare. Oh. The Dow is now up 5 points. Looks like we are dropping. My buddy NJ, you're a character. You are a character. Arrow does settle from IPO. Arrow. Oh no, what is this? Another EV toll stock or something? When did it go public? About 6 weeks ago? I don't know. See how we're constantly hitting this flat bottom and we're pulling back and tightening? It almost looks like it's setting up a very big descending triangle. And it looks like the stock is going to potentially break into the teens. 550 million. Not many shares in the float. Are these numbers accurate? Tens of millions. Yeah. Give it some time. Drone defense stock. Okay. Again, you can see, we can kind of see this, right? And again, nothing's guaranteed, right? But we can kind of see like, you know what I mean? And if the technicals are correct, you know what I mean? What is this high right here? 33, 39. That's close enough. Even if you go from the bottom of that gap up, right? I went from top, bottom of gap up. Yeah, I wouldn't be a buyer of this right now. Sorry, Charlie. You know, if this thing breaks and we approach like 18, 17, and it does what I'm predicting, try to keep an eye on it if you remember. And if it does do this and you bring it up again, we can come back and take a look. It might be a buy in the teens. Might be a buy in the teens. Right now, I think you could get cheaper though. That's just my opinion. Again, as we know, just because it's a drone stock doesn't mean it's gonna, 5x, 10x, right? Thank you. Keep an eye for a drop down. Yep. Let me know. Again, it's a great sector, right? And we had the little announcement from Hegseth, so I know. Believe me, I know everyone's pumped about the drone stocks, but like we used to say, even with the EV stocks, right? It's like even if people start buying a couple of EVs here and there, like it's not going to be enough to support all of these businesses, right? So that's the problem. You know, will orders come in to these drone companies? Like, yeah, probably, right? It's kind of looking that way. But do we know for certain that this company will get a contract, that company will get it, right? We don't know that. So I don't know if I would blindly buy. What was the other one we were looking at? Like Arcat or something? Again, maybe a company that's been publicly traded for a little bit, you know, that has some revenue coming in. Maybe take a shot at one of those. But again, Aero, IPO could be good. If we see a break and we have a more attractive price, you know, then maybe you can consider taking a position. But yeah, it's just my opinion. That's how I would play it. Yeah, sitting here down about 8%. It is holding though. I'm telling you, man. I'm like we break, and you can see some sells, but I don't know, man. I really do believe the word is out. And I think that now that people missed it and now that people are watching it, like a day like today, that's what I mean. Like now they see it red finally. So you have people buying these dips, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it'll just like come all the way back down here right away. I don't know if that'll happen. Jeez. La-dee-da-dee-da. La-da-dee-da-da-da. HGRAF is showing me 94 cents right now on Fidelity. Oh, yeah, baby. I like it a lot. Play it, lady. Oh, wow. 9 viewers. I wonder who else they're watching. Because I don't know if anyone's better than me right now. Probably watching some random trader who, you know, put 200K into frickin' call options, acting like they have no money, right? A stock probably just moved to like 0.6%, and they just went in and out real quick, made a quick thousand or whatever, and they act like it's easy. And granted, it is, believe it or not, it is. But the reason why it's so easy, and the reason why they can always go on YouTube, you know, every other day and say, oh, I had a $3,000 day, I had a $5,000 day, is because they're dealing with such size. And then all they need is like a 0.5% move, a 1.2% move, and they're out, they flip it. And because they moved in with such size, the small move doesn't matter, it still yields thousands or tens of thousands, right? But they don't disclose that. They'll just put a big thumbnail to suck people like you in. Oh, I made $5,800 today. Find out how. Yeah, I know how. I know how. Right? You're not really telling us how, but I know how. That's what I mean. So it's all smoke and mirrors, as we used to say. It's all BS. Shout out to our buddy George Carlin, who's still alive in our afterlife. Hopefully we meet up with him down the line. Buddy George Carlin used to say, it's all bullshit, folks. It's all bullshit. And it's bad for you. 10 lurkers, 7 likes. Give this man a like. Thank you, Natalie. People are very silly. People are ungrateful, we could say. But I don't want to get too mean, too negative. Because we have nothing to be negative about. Not on this channel. I mean, I have a mind of a champion. I pick winners. You guys know all that. A lot of you are involved in these winners. And there you go. So, I have not much to be concerned about right now. Except the fact, of course, that HGRAF was 100% for all of you, and I do not own a single share of this stock. That's the bad news. That's the only bad news I have. I should be up 1,000%, but I have no shares. Those of you who were crying about HGRAF selling off now have nothing to say as we're climbing back up. Yeah, I know most people who invest love to watch people like me live and interact and ask questions. And yeah, the fact that we only have 10, 11 viewers here is actually blowing my mind. Again, people always cry, oh, I never see anything happen live. If I want to ask a question, no one responds to me. Like, I'm right here. I'm right here. Just need to find you another HGRAF, get you some gains. No, you know what it was? Deli, I was too nice, brother. You know that. I was too nice. Again, you know, everyone charges monthly for their services. If I was charging everybody, whatever, 20 bucks, 50 bucks, 100 bucks, I mean, you know, I'd have thousands in liquidity, and now I'd have tens of thousands. That's why I kept telling people, you really don't understand how good you have it with me right now in this moment. Because I always said in the past, you know, everyone out there buys a stock and then tells you about it to have you pump it for them. Obviously, number one, I don't need that to happen because I just pick winners. So whether you buy it or not, I'm going to make money probably. But also, again, I went down a completely different path. I did not start charging from day one like all of these hobbyists. I don't have some random book that someone else wrote for me that I'm trying to sell for you. You know, I have a great success rate, showed you the proof in the pudding. What's a good strategy to use for finding swings? Well, usually when it comes to swings, most traders look at the RSI. And, you know, as the RSI pulls back, and usually everyone looks for around that 30 benchmark. If the RSI approaches that 30-ish range, then a lot of traders might say, oh, they beat it up, you know, it's oversold, and now it's going to swing back up and rebound a little bit. So that's how, you know, a lot of swing traders, they'll play the VWAP, they'll play the RSI, they'll watch something like the moving average, right? And if a stock was beaten down and like it curls and now it's back above the moving average, they'll jump in and catch the swing now on the pop coming off the moving average. So there's a couple of different strategies if you want to do swings, but just understand the risks involved, again, because you're playing like solely technicals, right? You're looking at the RSI and you're just hoping the buying comes in, as opposed to buying a stock that you kind of quote-unquote know could go higher. And for that reason, you're the only YouTuber I follow in the investing space. So much grifting going on in the space. You know, Deli, I really appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's unfortunate that a lot of people out there don't really see what they have right now with me, but yeah, I'm just very glad that some of you were able to find me. And also, more importantly, even if you're not involved with everything we speak about, right? You're seeing the way I go about it. You're seeing again, if we're right 8 out of 10 times, like you can see the success here. And again, even if you just watch and you're here, you're just learning, right? You're just starting out, you want to see what the market's all about, that's fine too. But I'm just glad that, we slowly have a community that's growing. Makes me happy. Makes me happy. Nick says, I know exactly what I have. There you go. I tried to trade using the break and retest. That seems to work for me. Your channel is great, by the way. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, listen, like we say, Natalie, everyone has a different strategy. But yeah, it's really whatever works for you. Again, I like to look at the numbers if we're talking about longer term investing. And yeah, when you talk to traders, again, everyone is different. Everyone is different. And I think that's why it's actually so difficult to really get an edge on it, Because even if you really know what you're doing, your success rate might be like 60, 70%. And it's like it's good, but it could be better, and it's rough because again, you have people who look at moving averages. Again, like you said, you wait for the break and the retest, then you climb in. People watch the VWAP. Other people watch price action. Who watches volume coming into the stock? You know what I'm saying? So there's so many strategies, but again, if that's the type of strategy you're implementing and you're right more than you're wrong, and you're slowly growing the account, then do whatever works for you. Entertainment value is a bonus. Hey, listen, brother, I didn't even open the door fully yet. I just cracked the door on the entertainment side, right? Because I'm still kind of trying to be a professional, even though I don't have to be, because the whole world's a stage right now. Everything's a joke. But the fact that I am this damn good with a decent personality and a little entertainment for you, I mean, sounds like a win-win to me. Oil now down 2.25%. It's funny too. I was speaking to someone yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know what to buy." I said, "Well, they just spiked up oil. Maybe you should consider puts on USO." Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Dow dropping now over 100 points. I'm here for the live memes too. Appreciate it. It's all about risk management. Yep, protect your capital. Yep, of course. Of course. And again, we also see how they'll spike something down to where everyone's stop loss is, right? So they get stopped out, and then they'll spike it back up. So options are very volatile. Again, it could be tough, but I say, try to work with stop losses, but also at the same time, try to keep it as a mental stop, right? Because if you actually, if you put in a stop here, they'll tank it and then bounce it, right? So you get screwed, but then everything's okay. So that's why, if you can, watch it, stay on top of it, and set a mental stop. But those of you who are doing options or, small cap stock swings with shares, if you put in a limit order, you got to go back to work. It's understandable, Work with what you got. La-dee-da-dee-da. Right, I said before too, DIA puts, obviously, that would have worked out. HGRAF at $1. HG 139 currently. BlackBerry will participate in Concord Genuity 45th. August 13th, okay, about 2 weeks. We'll engage in a fireside chat. Okay, okay. Appreciate that. Thank you, Deli. Okay, so that's in 2 weeks. So that's here, August 13th, we said. August 13th. Here. Here is where they bring it. In my opinion, I would personally begin building a position in BlackBerry stock as we approach the 3.5 mark and continue to break lower into the lower threes. In my opinion. BB video would go hard. Yeah, I know. I mentioned it in the Discord. I've been talking about it on stream. I know I've been going live the last couple of days. I haven't done a BB video. But yeah, again, what do I like about BB? It's just a gut feeling thing. It's just a gut feeling thing. And I know that our government, I'm not sure if we still force kind of our president and our politicians to use Blackberries. I know that was always the norm because of the encryption. And, you know, Trump was bashing, I guess you can say, some of the main industries out of Canada, right? When he was doing the whole, like, oh, we don't really need Canada. Like, I know he mentioned, what he mentioned, like maple syrup and like lumber and stuff. Like, yeah, we don't need those. That's why, again, LPX, shout out to LPX. But, BlackBerry's a Canadian company, and yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling. I have a feeling there's value here, and I have a feeling that, like, if a lot of Canadian companies like shit the bed because of whatever tariffs or issues we might have with each other, I have a feeling that BlackBerry somehow is going to come out like Andy Dufresne on the other side. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling. And we know that, oh, sometimes I get a good feeling. Dow is now back at trendline. They have a ton of patents that are still relevant. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. That's why if we look almost similar to something like Intel, right? It's like we know Intel's losing market share and they've been missing estimates and the stock's been down, but while this was happening, right, there were rumors swirling about like Qualcomm approaching them to buy their foundry assets and whatnot. So that's what I mean. These kind of like older, quote unquote, like grandfather tech stocks, they still have decent business. They have, as you said, they have good patents, good IP in the pipeline on the back burner that we may have not even seen yet. So that's what I mean. Something like BlackBerry, they might continue to beat it up like into the low threes. Then all of a sudden there's like a huge government contract. Or then all of a sudden, you know, like Apple takes a 30% stake in the company, something random like that. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. And I do think there's value there. I think you're onto something. Once a tech giant needs to restructure, could be coming out of it. Don't know too much about the fundamentals. Need to dive deeper. Yeah, the fundamentals, again, that's why the fundamentals aren't as strong as we'd like, which again is why I can appreciate the fact that they took it out of the spotlight and it's kind of just been slowly slipping away. But I think we were kind of close to fair value-ish, kind of. So again, that's another reason why I like it, right? And of course, everything's raging. People love tech, right? We just said, oh, old school tech company. They got some patents on the back burner, right? It's been beaten up, it's been battered down, and we keep hitting highs. So if we're all about tech, oh Jesus, oh my goodness, excuse me. So if we're all about tech and we have huge demand, I don't know. I honestly, I can't put it into words, but I like it. Dollar staying flat. HGRAF sitting at 98 cents. HG sitting here at 136, right? We're only slightly down. And again, for a stock that just ran, what, 800%, 1,000%, again, this is 5% drop, 7%, that's nothing, right? I was speculating we could drop back to, again, looking at HGRAF, because I don't want to get the prices confused. I don't want to scare anybody. But even HGRAF, right? Like we said, look, right? This topped out like right at the bottom body, which as you see is right around 75 cents. That's why people asked me yesterday, like, oh, do you think it's going to be up again today? And I said, well, it's either going to keep going and hit new highs, or it's going to pull back here to about 75 and then bounce back up. And we can see that while it is kind of staying down, we could say, it's not completely, it doesn't seem to want to completely retrace to 75 cents. So, again, we might have just a little down day like this, and then it might explode to like, 1.5 tomorrow or whatever. I'm talking about HGRAF, right? So HG would pop to whatever, 220 or whatever. UPS getting beaten up. That's funny, Deli. I had Nick, I think, Nicholas, one of the other guys, reach out last night. And that's funny. He brought up UPS. And he was like, oh, yeah, it's been beaten down. You like UPS. And I said, I don't know. I don't know. You know what it is, too? I'll be honest. When I had money, right, I would do, as I said, tiny speculative option trades, right? Aim small, miss small. And anytime, literally, right? The way you looked at UPS and just laid it out is literally what I would always say about UPS when I would look at it. And I would say, oh no, it's a buy. It's going to bounce back. I'm going to buy some calls. I literally don't think I've ever made money on UPS. So, again, we could look at the stock. We could take a few minutes, but just knee-jerk reaction off the top of my head, I wouldn't be a buyer of UPS. And if memory serves correct, isn't like FedEx in like a better financial situation than UPS, right? Aren't they like larger? And I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Oh wow, it's a 5-year low, really? All right. Let's take a look. But yeah, I believe if we were to compare it to FedEx, I'm pretty sure FedEx outperforms it. But again, it's hard, man. UPS. Wow. UPS. They had the strike, and again, this is a trucking company, so the problem is, it's similar to I'm sorry, I still have the window open, so bear with me if you're getting some outside noise, but UPS, they beat them up because they tie it to gas prices too, right? And that's what I mean. You kind of see the same thing with the airlines, which is why I don't like the airlines either. Because it's like they'll come out and like maybe they'll beat earnings, so like they'll get a little bump. then they'll hang out, and then like a week later, it's like, oh, blah, 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 said this, and, oil is spiking. And then because oil goes up, the analysts are saying, well, that's going to cost them more. So then they bring the stock down, whether it should be or not. You know what I mean? So they're just difficult to time sometimes. And again, if you asked me a year or two ago on UPS, we might have looked at the numbers and said, oh, it's undervalued, buy. And as you see, you'd be down roughly 50% right now. So again, it's just, nothing's guaranteed, and it's just hard to time sometimes. Yeah, that is a big drop, though. Wow. We could see, though, it's at a key level, though, right? See how we spiked up here to highs in '04? That's essentially right where we are right now. We ran up basically right to this level. You can see the tightening, the consolidation, and then we ended up going higher, right? We sell off here basically to around 87 where we are now. 2020 lockdowns pull us back essentially right to this level we are now. So, yeah, could be buy. Raised its free cash flow outlook up from 3 to 3.2. Well, that's good. Crazy to think you could have bought the stock 20 years ago and basically break even. Yeah, well, that's what I mean, right? This is why, again, even if you're going to hold the stock for 10, 20 years, this is why we say you got to check in on it every now and then, right? Because, again, nothing is guaranteed. Unless bonds, right? Unless you buy bonds. But, yeah, something like this. Perfect example. Oh, I'm just going to buy UPS and just leave it. Right? And now imagine, like, you finally come back to the account, whatever, 10 years later. And it's like, oh, I could have made several $100%. But now, nothing happened. It's rough. That's a rough one. Oh, we also just had earnings, right? That's why it's down. 1 cent miss. Yeah, really? They chunked it down on that, huh? What else did they say, though? 21, 25 bill, slight miss. Okay, so yeah, we're either yeah, kind of inconsistent. A lot more misses than beats lately. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. 70 billion. PE's low. Right? We'd have to find out why they keep, I know they're missing earnings, but, did they continue to lower outlook? I haven't kept an eye on the stock, so if they continued to, like, lower guidance or take on more debt or issue more shares, right? I'm honestly not on top of it. Revenue actually been slipping. Kind of, slight rebound there from 23 to 24. And they're based overseas? They're showing me euro. I wasn't even aware they're overseas. Where is this coming? Headquartered in Atlanta. The hell you showing me euros, bro? If the White House sets end date for de minimis rule. Oh, okay, what is this? After the White House said that the U.S. would end the de minimis rule that has allowed packages worth $800 or less to be imported duty-free. Ah, I see now. Yes. Now it all makes sense. So yeah, if that's the headline now, if that's the news behind these companies, if we do start to see the reduction in package amounts, as that article was kind of luring to, whatever, then yeah, I mean, they may have beaten it up too much, but I that might be a catalyst to keep me out, in my opinion. Check my trusty Dow. Seeing a little bounce off this trend line here that we've been watching the last couple of days. Wow, we got like 8 viewers. Wow, I feel like a Kardashian. So popular. Like I said, other people, right? You got streamers. What are they? They're like, they sit in their computer chair. They like scream at the screen. Yo, chat, are you crazy, chat? What's going on, chat? Yeah, those people have 30,000 viewers. I'm here changing lives. I have not 8 viewers. Okay. Thank you for taking a look. No problem, Deli. But yeah, I don't know if that'd be a good one. Yeah, whatever. I am so sick of these algos and shit. Single viewer and oh, all right, that's cool. All right then, fair enough. I will be grateful for what I have. Looks like yields are slowly slipping down. Got oil still down, dollar flat. Silver still down. Bitcoin slightly green right here, back above 118,000. Shout out to all the crypto bros and bras out there. We are chilling. Yep, looking mostly red. Sip my coffee. Oh yeah. Gotta gargle every now and then. Let's look at Yahoo. Extending trade deals. Okay, tariff. We got Rolls-Royce, just absolutely phenomenal. Unbelievable. Again, initially brought to you on this channel at $1.20. Rolls Royce up here 14, hitting 1454. 1454. But I actually was watching lately, and it looks like probably some light numbers or something. IonQ, I think in my opinion, is generating like the most revenue out of all of those like quantum computing stocks we looked at. Now I think that was one of the first ones we looked at with like D-Wave and whatnot, but I think technically IonQ should be the leader in the space. HIM's raging. Look at this up here at 70 a share. I was expecting a pullback on HIM's. I'm actually very surprised they're keeping it up at this valuation. Very surprised. I love to keep that note there because it just reminds everyone how awesome I am. But yeah, when we had this break, so you can see the break, you can see the upward channel, and see how we spiked right back up. We were technically supposed to break. Which is why when people were asking me here, like, oh, what do you think about HIMS? I said, listen, I still like it. But, you know, in the low 50s, if you can get it like in the low 40s, that'd be even better, you know? And it just never happened, and it's on the up and up. So, you know, I guess I'll take that one on the chin, I guess. But I kind of thought it would go down before going back up like this. But very close to retesting that previous high. Just a couple of points away. Shout out to everyone who's in HIMS. Did we end up talking about SB earnings? Yes. Yes, we did. You missed it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it was an EPS miss. Revenue was alright. But yeah, didn't blow anyone away, but also at the same time wasn't terrible. And you can see if we were to kind of extend this line out, you can see we basically came right down to that line, kind of hung out, and now we're just kind of flat. So in general, I do think it's undervalued, but I guess we can say the report was slightly, not underwhelming, but we'll say not as exciting as we were anticipating. So SB's just kind of hanging out right now, not seeing much movement. American Eagle gonna run soon. Yeah, you jumped in that one? You know? Yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not sure how to play it because I will say, oh man, what's her name again? Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney, right? I will say, you know, good move, I guess, right? Everyone likes her. Well, I know men do. But obviously we're seeing the backlash, right? And I have to laugh, again, not to talk about, you know, racism and all that BS, but I just have to laugh, right? Because if you recall, people used to get upset because it was like, oh, you know, I see a lot of white people in commercials. And then the companies were like, all right, so they started putting black people in the commercials, and then it was like, oh, but you know, but I'm Asian, I'm not in any commercial. So then they were like, all right, and they started putting Asian people in the commercial, right? So you're trying to do everything to make everybody happy. Then you pick this girl, you put her in a commercial, all of a sudden you're a racist. Missed HIMS too. Good news is I picked up shares of 14. Yeah, Natalie, I was looking at it a while back. Again, I'll show you exactly where. So yeah, it was right here. Right here, back in first quarter of 24, so about a year and a half ago. When they reported earnings here, and I looked at the numbers, and I saw the jump from like 10 to 12. That's when I did a video. We were looking at the numbers together, and I said, yeah, this is a buy. You know, this is like a $20, $25 stock. And as you see, it immediately ran up there. But again, we got some pretty good back-to-back updates. We got the earnings beat, and then of course, yeah, what they like started selling like some other drug, right? That people were pumped about, and I mean, obviously, the rest is history. But HIMS ran up to, yeah, almost 73, and apparently it just wants to go higher. I think it's a little overextended, but again, it is what it is. You got to take what the market gives you. But yeah, great growth. Again, we're talking about the last year and a half since we technically put a buy on it on the channel, and the stock went from 12 to 70 if you're still holding. So big shout out to those shareholders of HIMS. Really good growth over time. Really good good rally today. Multi-year accumulation. Look on the weekly. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Again, they're in the news. Let's look at the numbers here. I think we looked at the numbers yesterday. All right, that's slowly on the up and up. Bringing in 5 billion market cap, 2 billion. That's a big drop in revenue, actually. What happened there? I mean, it looks like Q1's their slowest quarter, but so technically we're seeing we saw last quarter a dip in revenue year over year. The cost is outpacing the revenue. Mitre TA describes this way better than I could through chat. Bro. People always come in here and try to talk to me about other people, bro. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Like I said, HGRAF is up 1,000% just in the last couple of weeks. Are you in his chat telling him about me? All right, so whatever. Technical analysis lining up. Okay, stock could go from 11.30 to 13 and a quarter. All right, awesome. I wish you the best. Again, you can see, look, revenue slightly down. Cost of goods jumped up a bump. They did bring down operating expenses a little bit. Gross profit, the worst it's been going back the last 2 years. Operating income went negative for the first time going back the last 8 quarters. Pre-tax income negative. Share amount dropping, which is a good sign. We have equity basically consistently dropping for the last 2 years, now sub 1.5 billion. Sub 1.5 billion. Okay. The debt is almost their market cap. They had to cut the dividend. They're slowly trying to bring it back up. The debt has ballooned. The free cash flow is 60% more negative to the downside. The cash is the lowest amount on hand. Yes, I use others' analysis and videos as examples. No. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. I mean, I'll give you on the weekly, the stock just got up above the moving average, right? And that's what I mean. Now people are talking about it on social media. So now you're going to have other people who are like, oh, you don't like Sydney Sweeney, you think she's racist, now I'm going to go buy a pair of their jeans, right? So we know how it works. So, yeah, I mean, it could work out. Could work out. Just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like one of those kind of like hope and a prayer situations. So, yeah, I don't know. More power to you. I'll give you a timestamp. Yo, listen. See, this is what aggravates me. This is what aggravates me. Like, what the heck are you talking about? Multi-year volume increasing inflection point. What? Yeah, that? Also, it's a Gartley pattern. I'm going to be honest. I was a licensed broker. I don't know what pattern that is. I've never heard of it, actually. Uh, Look, they gotta look up 716 crab pattern. Yeah, I don't know what that is either. Uh, Guys looking at freaking Bitcoin or whatever. Makes me laugh. And see, this is what's hilarious about other people, right? Like these Johnny come latelys. Again, I have to assume this person Marley is completely unaware of how phenomenal I've been on this channel. Again, we're talking about like a 3.5 year 3.5 year track record. It's a bullish bat with a type 2 return on the monthly with MACD divergence. Hey, listen, that's a great story. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know what you want from me. You're coming in here, I guess, telling me about a position you took, about what another YouTuber's talking about. I don't know. Like I said, yeah, I try to be a nice guy. I try not to jump down anyone's throat. But yesterday you brought up the random crypto question when that's not what I do. And now you're talking about this guy on YouTube who apparently is talking about AEO and streamed the other day about Bitcoin. So, I have to assume you own both. I don't know. Do you pay for his services? So you're in here talking about him in my shit? I don't know. No, you don't buy Bitcoin? And you were busting my balls yesterday with all those questions? Bro, it just makes me laugh. I don't buy Bitcoin. You bringing up crypto yesterday. Meanwhile, you mentioned some other random guy on YouTube who apparently just spoke about Bitcoin on a stream it was showing me 2, 3 days ago. So go ask him your question. I mean, you're obviously putting that person above me, right? That's a fact. You're obviously putting that person above me because you're in my chat mentioning them, right? I mean, if they start streaming, like I said, I hope you're mentioning my name in their chat. Fair is fair, right? Fair is fair. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Why would I analyze their analysis? And yes, you do mention other. Okay, okay. I want to see my name mentioned in all those other streams you watch. Send me screenshots. Exactly. You see what it said? Well, you analyze the market your way, right? Which, as we established, is better than the norm and better than the average hobbyist, right? We've established this. Again, 3.5, 4 year track record we have. Consistent, positive success rate. Consistent, phenomenal calls on this channel, right? I do it my way, which is different than everyone else's way. And what do people need? People want to watch the people who kind of know what they're talking about, and they want to bring it to the person who actually knows what they're talking about so I can justify them, right? We spoke about this on stream the other day when I mentioned, like, oh, if people want to, like, collab and go live with me and all this, blah, blah, blah. I mentioned this. It doesn't matter about, I only have 7,000 subscribers. That's not what it is. Someone like Marley, perfect example of what's happening here. They need to bring their BS in here to have it made credible by someone of my stature. Do you understand? They need me. I do not need them. That's a fact. And I don't care if people got upset and left the stream. I really don't care. I really don't care. It's whatever, Marley. It's whatever. Do you, do you. Like I said, send me screenshots. You're in all these other chats telling them how awesome I am. Rolls Royce, $1.20. Stock's 14.5. You telling him about that? You asking him if I'm good? I mean, we know I'm good, right? So, you know, you asking him? You mentioning me? Soundhound, we were all the way back here looking at Soundhound. Stock went to 25. You mentioning me? Are you mentioning me in other chats? How about Coke? Right? Does your buddy over there who watches Bitcoin even know that this company exists? And the fact that it absolutely raged over the years? I'm just too damn good at this shit, man. I am just too damn good. Whoops. These people are crazy, man. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Whatever, buddy. It doesn't matter. Like I said, you're missing the point. Whether you mention him or not, whether you mention me or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I am showing astronomical returns with tax incentives, with diversification, with hedge plays. That's what I mean. All these people, again, I'm not trying to knock them. All these people, they're all the same to me. Talk about the same 2 cryptos, talk about the same 20 stocks. It's boring, it's boring, it's boring. And that's what I mean. Now all these traders are checking the charts on American Eagle now. Oh, now it's in play. Why? Because they put some chick in a commercial? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Let's check FinViz on it. It's 11% shorted. You know, that's what I mean. You could see a pop to 14. I can't wait till I get more viewers consistently, so people like this could be drowned out in the chat. Looks like potential descending triangle forming on HGRAF. Marley, I don't care. God, why is it gotta be on a day when I feel like crap I gotta deal with this? What's for lunch today? I don't know. Not even hungry. Now I'm aggravated. Now I'm aggravated. Like I said, people do it in the Discord too. You know, I know I'm jumping down your throat because I'm jumping down EA stock. I'm jumping down your throat, you know, because you keep talking about this person and trying to justify this, but it's not only you. I will say that it's not only you. I got people, they're trying to tell me what you know, Tom Lee is saying and all these other people. I do not care. Oh, baby, I love you. It's not him. I'm not saying he is better. Highly doubtful. Highly doubtful. Well, it's bad because if he actually knows his shit, you shouldn't have to double check it. That's the point I'm making. And again, I was Series 7, Series 63 licensed financial advisor. I have managed millions of dollars. My success rate is through the roof. I have been consistent for years. We have massive diversification on this channel. I mentioned hedge plays, yields, oil. I keep track of the dollar. And yes, the average kid on YouTube watches Bitcoin, Ethereum, and 10 or 20 stocks. So yeah, I know I'm on a different level than these people. I've proven it consistently for years, and as I said before, they need me. You people like you and people like them need me to justify their analysis, their call, their channel. That's a fact. That's not an opinion. That is a fact. That's why you're in here double checking his TA with me. This community is slowly learning. Again, something like HII, right? Perfect example. Stock just went from 216 to almost $300 a share, you know? Go mention that in his chat. Mention me. How awesome I am. That's what I'm saying. The people who've been watching me, who've been following me, who've been supporting me, first of all, I think we have one of the best communities out there, even though we're up and coming from the ground floor. But, you know, you ask around, and the community will attest. You know, if I say I like something because of A, B, and C, like, that's usually it. That's end of story. I don't think, well, I would hope not, but I don't think at this point that anyone in the Discord or any one of my viewers would take something I say and have to double check with some other random person. And if they are, in my opinion, they shouldn't be. And I actually think it's very disrespectful. Like we might get more rain again. I see HG continue to slip, which means HGRAF, we may see the retracement back to 75 cents as we were laying out. All right, Deli, take it easy. Have a good day. Appreciate the support. La-dee, da-dee-da. La-dee, da-dee-da. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get more coffee, talk amongst yourselves. Coffee. Oh, the Dow is back down. Oh, incantare. Dollar back above trend line. Again, this is our second support. Was that 99? Yep, could be going to 101 as we spoke about yesterday, I think it was. Dollar on the move. We know dollar goes up in theory, stocks go down. Check back in on our HG. Yep, again, we had the bottom here, right? Potential descending triangle. What's the price of HGRAF right now? 84.8 cents. Again, we were looking for the potential retracement to about 75 cents. And then you might see actually a power explosion. Volume on HG, again, this is the one listed on the Canadian. You can see we're about 2.5 times average volume here. It's only midday. I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing. Oil going to come down, retest the moving average, then bounce back up. Yields just kind of hanging out. Not much movement. Yep. You can see the tightening taking place here with silver. In my opinion, it's going to break to the downside. SCCO rebounding almost 4.5% from yesterday's dip. We know what we know. LAC hanging out right at trend line. AMD just looking phenomenal. Have a potential neckline here, potential head and shoulders beginning to form. A lot da dee da da da. Da dee da. SoFi looks like it's above daily resistance. 381. Oh no, actually we're kind of right. Yeah, technically. PM, slowly but surely. And you know this, man. Oh, yeah. Hanging out. See how Meta's holding up. Oh, yeah. 800. 800 on the way. Look at that. Wedbush 920. Piper Sandler 880. Look at this. 800 coming soon. Oof. What a rebound. Like I said, you make the list of what we quote unquote know or are confident in are going to be good. And if they dip, buy those dips. Oh, yeah. Going for 2.5 hours already. Jeez. Jeez Louise. HG at 107. HGRAF currently sitting at 78.25 cents. Again, was looking for a pullback to 75 cents. I am just too damn good. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna tell you what. Da da dee da da da. La da dee da da da. Yep, 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 yep. I'm actually going to see if I can grab myself some HGRAF. We're at 79 cents. I put in an order for just a handful of shares because my cash is very tight. But putting in for a handful of shares at 75 cents. So we'll see if we do pull back to that key level and I get filled. Of course, my cost basis should have been 10 cents, but that was a gift for you guys. HGRAF, I wasn't able to get involved in, so that was all for you guys. A little double bottom could potentially be forming multiple bottoms to form another descending triangle to break lower. It looks terrible outside. HGRAF at 77 cents. What would that be in the HG Canada? Um, well, right now, HGRAF is 80 cents it's showing me, and we're at 111 Canadian. So if we have roughly a 30-cent difference, I'd say probably like 105, 105 on your end. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it wants to go a little bit. Yeah, like, well, no, actually 105. So maybe it might be lower. Yeah, maybe like 102-ish for you. But yeah, we'll see. As you see here, the next fib is 98 cents Canadian. So it might just like flash drop to there and then maybe start to bounce. So if you want, maybe you could put in, like $1 or like sub-dollar to try to get filled. Yeah, I put in 75 cents on my end. I don't think I got filled though. It didn't. Let me check actually. Um, no, I'm not filled. Where is? Oh, okay. Yeah, every trading platform is different. I'm trying to look. Okay, it's showing my order. It doesn't list the prices though here. This is so weird. Some of these platforms make no sense. Well, like, I don't know who laid these out, but I assume they're not like traders or investors. Yeah, HG sitting right at the moving average, deciding what it wants to do. What the hell is happening with HGRAF? You're welcome, Ricardo. You're welcome. Again, you might see right here off the moving average, maybe you see like a little dip and it makes like the lower low. And see like $1 Canadian, 99.98 maybe, like right around there. That might be your fill. Because again, that's roughly like 70-ish cents on the OTC. And of course, we know, right, it's risky, and we know it could just continue to break down because it ran so much. But I personally was looking for that retracement, and then we probably will see a bounce. Look at that volume, almost 10 million shares again, 12:30. It's 12:30. Is HRF a pump and dump? No. In my opinion, no. It shouldn't be a pump and dump. Again, we did speculate about a pullback and some profit taking. So, if you weren't involved, again, I'll say this. We're looking for a key level here, roughly in Canadian, and also on the OTC. So we'll see. Again, if it starts to slip, then obviously you can get a little bit of a better price, right? But if it bounces, then we may just continue to be on the up and up. So, unfortunately, it's hard to call, but it does seem like the volume's coming in. We broke up. We got near that dollar level on the OTC. So, I think people are piling in on the anticipation of an order coming. Again, the CEO, the board, they were talking to them about the potential movement, getting listed on the NASDAQ. So there's a lot of positive headlines that could be coming on the horizon. So as the stock started to break up and out above those trend lines we were originally watching, that's when the volume started to pour in. So again, a pullback like this, it may be short-lived. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, the Nasdaq, I mean, we may like slowly step down here, but the Nasdaq should technically finish and close up. Um, Even if we think we're overvalued or not, right? We had Meta and some other companies come out and report some pretty strong numbers, so it's all about tech. Put it in order, fingers crossed we get filled. All right, baby, I'm pulling for you. Let's go. Let's go. And yeah, like we said, hopefully it bounces, but as we see, the volume's really coming in. So even if we break lower on HGRAF, like again tomorrow, let's say, I do believe it'll be short-lived. Because I do think there's a lot of people out there who saw it trending, right? They see videos like mine and they're like, oh, wow, this guy was talking about it, you know, whatever, 11 cents, the stock's up huge. So now they see the pullback. So now they're intrigued, right? Now they're more confident because they're like, okay, it's been pumping up. It could go up and make higher highs, right? $1.50, $2, and I could buy it here today for whatever, $1.80, whatever, right? What are your thoughts on management board of HGRAF? Good. Good. They're all good. They're all good. SC, I don't know if you're in the Discord, but people in the Discord, they always talk about the CEO and they're always posting you know, like the interviews and stuff that they give, and everyone seems very confident in HGRAF. Did he ever speak about HGRAF? Is your name Brooklyn or you're from Brooklyn? Yeah, flattening out, trying to get back above that moving average. Nope, nope. SB, 2 1/3%. How you doing? Yep, yep. This is again, this one's delayed 15 minutes, which is why I'm watching the Canadian listed, but slowly pulling back. La-dee-na-dee-da. HGRAF currently at about 80 cents, live quote. Oh, man. Telling you, my body just does not agree with the rain. Got a good amount of sleep, too. Woke up, had some coffee. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Oh, no. Ever feel like you gotta like crack your neck and your back, but it just doesn't happen? Look, see, I try to be interactive with my chat. Brooklyn comes in, right? And I'm like, oh, is that your name? Is that where you're from? Ask about HGRAF. I'm looking at HGRAF, right? The heck am I even talking to you for? Am I alone here? Am I alone? Hey, we got oil ticking back up. We got silver starting to tick back up. We have the dollar slowly ticking down, but again, does look like we're kind of consolidating, potentially like a little downward channel here, getting ready for another pop-up. So, stay on your toes, in my opinion, stay on your toes. The dollar could spike back up, which could bring stocks back down, of course. Yeah, Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce shrugs off tariff pressures as profits soar. And what did I tell you? What did I tell you? I mean, we literally raised this concern. And people said, oh, what about tariffs? You know, could that impact Rolls Royce? What do you think? And I said, in my opinion, drop in the bucket. It's not going to be an issue. Clyde having a good day. Shout out to all of you who may have jumped into that one. Shake Shack. Yep. Yeah, Grab. I remember people talking about Grab in the past. Figma. Meta just having a day. Microsoft too. Very nice. Mm, mm, mm. HGRAF 81 cents a share. Live quote. Go stretch my legs for 5 minutes. Entertain yourselves. Yep, there's our little bounce. Yep. Everything slowly turned green here on this list. SCCO up almost 5%. HGRAF. Yep. Yep. Wow, 7 viewers, 10 likes. Beautiful. Breaking records. There. Alright, we've been going for about 3 hours. So, I'm going to step away for an hour or two. I might come back and go live a little bit later. But I'll end it here. I want to thank you guys for your support. Appreciate you showing up, showing some love. And yeah, HG, we'll see if it continues to pull back. I know some people have some lower limit orders put in, so they're looking to get filled. But yeah, if you guys want, again, you guys can join the Discord. Free for you guys to join. Just make sure you say hello when you join so you don't get kicked. And yeah, I'll end it there. Talk to you guys in a few hours.